on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I got an extra set of hands. Yo, say what's up, bro. What's up? Oscar over here is gonna give me a hand with a head gasket. So we're gonna remove the head and stuff. Look at this guy, look at this guy. Putting in work, putting in work. Appreciate you, brother. While Oscar is over there doing his work, we gotta come over here and we're ready to bring this baby in. But so Oscar's gonna be working on that stuff, and I gotta take all of this crap off. So what we're gonna do is push in the car and we're gonna get to wrenching. So while he's doing that, I'm gonna be taking all that stuff out. That way both of us are, being productive and actually get it done faster. So let's get it. Alright guys, we're going to be jumping into this voiceover. Oscar's got to remove the chain tensioner first, so it's only held down by 2 bolts, and then he's going to jump into the right guide, which is held down by 3 bolts. So take that off, and he's going to go into the left guide, which is only held down by 1 bolt. And of course, after you take that off, remove the time chain. Now, since we're also going to be installing the new Type S oil pump, we gotta start by removing the guide for the oil pump chain. And obviously the one on the right has 3 bolts, and then the one on the left has 2 bolts that we gotta remove in order to be able to take off the chain and be able to remove the oil pump as well. Alright, so it's time to remove the cam holders out the way. They're all been held down by 10mm bolts. So that's all you gotta remove. I believe there is 4 on each row, and it's obviously 5 rolls. So you gotta remove each one of them, and then there is a special sequence that you gotta follow to be able to remove and not warp the head. So once you remove the bolts, you can do it like Oscar's gonna be doing it. You can wiggle it back and forth, and they should be able to come off. Or you can remove the bolts and then use some flatheads and wiggle it out in order to for them to come off, and then you take out the cams. All right, so grab a flathead and then you can start putting it on the sides. That way you can, as you can see how Oscar is doing it, you can put it on the side and then start lifting up the whole assembly. But don't forget to remove those bolts. Don't forget to remove that bolt all the way. Take it off, and then you can pry, and you're going to be able to remove the whole assembly, get it to loosen up, and at the end you're most likely going to be able to remove it. Okay, so once you remove the assembly, now it's time to remove the head studs. Now there's going to be 10 of them. So for Oscar here, the engine stab can moving. It didn't have a lock like for the wheel locks, so the engine stand, every time he tried to put pressure on it, it kept moving for him. So he needed some help. That's why you see another guy helping him. So you're gonna remove every single one of them with the head studs, and after that, then you're gonna be able to remove the whole head and have access to the head gasket. Okay, so grab your flathead and start prying from the sides. Just be real careful and pry down from the sides. As you can see, Oscar's doing the left to right, and it's becoming loose. So when it's a little bit loose, then you just wiggle it a little bit and it's gonna come right off. So now you're able to get to the old head gasket And once you remove it, you're gonna see Oscar come over here, grab a little scuff sponge. I don't know how you guys call them, but he's gonna scrub all the way around, just make sure that he takes anything off, and he's gonna clean it up and make sure that it's nice and clean for the new head gasket to be put on there. But before we put on the new head gasket, we're gonna go ahead and work on the old oil pump. We're gonna remove it, so turn the engine over, and it's gonna be held down by 4 bolts. I believe they're 10 millimeters. So once you remove those bolts, then you can go ahead and just take off the old oil pump. Okay, so once you remove the oil pump, you're gonna remove those small trays that you're seeing right there. One is the B and then is the A. Then for that oil port, you can drill it out, or you can put a self tapper on there, and then you're gonna put a 12 millimeter in there, and you're just gonna seal it off. And you're pretty much done. Just put this bigger tray back on, the new one that you have, drill it, and you're gonna be all set to be able to put the new Type S oil pump on there. But before, you gotta modify the Type S oil pump. You gotta cut it out because it doesn't fit directly. It's not even a lot that you have to cut off of it. It's just a little bit. Probably, I'll say probably is like about a 1/4 inch that you have to take off, or 3/8 or so. But it's essential, because if not, then it's not really gonna fit. So you just have to do that. So as you can see now that it's all cut, Oscar is just putting it on there and it fits properly, and just tap it a little bit and then secure it with the bolts. Obviously you go ahead and use the drill and then put it back on there. Put the guides on, you know, just make sure everything fits nice and tight, and you're gonna be ready to go, man. Ready to go. So you got the 2 bolts for the right side of the guide, and then you have 3 smaller ones for the left one. Now these are gonna have to be torqued down to 8.7 foot-pounds, but we're gonna do the top ones first. We're gonna torque down the top ones first, and then the bottom ones after. So for the top ones, you're gonna be at 16 foot-pounds, and I believe there's 3 of them. So you can see 1, 2, and then he's gonna do the 3rd one. Now after the 3rd one, we're gonna jump onto the smaller ones. Like I mentioned before, these are gonna be 8.7 foot-pounds, 3 on the left guide and then 2 on the right. So now we're gonna turn the engine over, and now we're gonna get into the new head gasket. So since everything is clean now, you just have to play the head gasket, make sure everything fits good. And then we got some APR new head studs. So these come with the grease. So you're gonna put grease in the bottom threads and then put grease in the top threads as well. Now once you have the top threads greased up, you can go ahead and grab the head, line it up, and make sure it sits down, make sure it's aligned properly, and it's sitting perfectly all flat. Alright guys, so for the head studs, make sure they're finger tight, just snug in them. Do not use the impact gun. So after that, you're gonna torque them down to 29 foot-pounds, and then 90 degrees. You're gonna go through all of them, hit the 90 degrees, and then go again another 90 degrees, and you're gonna be set. Alright, so now it's time to put back the cam holders, and I'm gonna explain to you guys the sequence because it's very important. Alright, let's go. I wanted to explain to you guys the sequence of torquing down the bolts right here for the head. So the way that you go about it, to me, the easiest way to understand is pretty much starting in the middle, and then this is your first point. So this is your number 1, and then you go the opposite way. Obviously, it's up, 2, 3, 4. Then you're gonna jump to the right, again in the middle, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you're gonna go to the left, 9, 10, 11, 12. To the right, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then supposed to go one over here, 21, 22, and 23. And these guys, these are supposed to be on 16 foot-pounds, and then this smaller ones in the middle, they're supposed to be at 8.7 foot-pounds, I believe. This smaller ones, that one's supposed to be one, this one, and this one over here. So yeah, that's the sequence pretty much. You start in the middle. This is always going to be on pretty much. You see how there's a number 1 over here. Should be number 1. Focus. Okay, you see a number 1 here. Number 2, number 3, 4, and 5. So you're always gonna start on number 3, which is the middle one. Start number 3 on this one. This is gonna be always your reference point, like pretty much like your center. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you always go like the opposite, you know. So down, up, to the right, down, up, to the left, down, up, and that's pretty much how it is. Now Oscar here is going to be following the sequence. He's going to make sure everything is bolted down well, nice and tight, and then he's going to torque it down. Make sure you guys follow the sequence, man. It is very important. Do not try to do it like from left to right or just the opposite, but just follow the sequences. It's just a no given brainer, man. If the manufacturer is telling you to do it and it's, you know, something that you should do, then just get it done and you should be all good to go. I want to give a big shout out to Oscar for helping me out with the engine. If you guys want to check out his build, go on to IG, and he has a little boosted RSX that he's probably pushing like around, I think it's like from 500 to 600 horsepower. I'm not really sure, but go ahead and check it out. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.